Awesome. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And, okay, so today is Tuesday, June 28th. It is now 10:32 a.m. to begin the meeting of the Dudley Economic Development Committee. We already started with our call to order and the pledge. First item on the agenda is the Nichols College video project. Next steps with Professor Russo. I think, Mark, you had sent out an email and that you gave us a little update, but you want to just...
Yeah, I guess the class that he had in, I don't know if he was looking the other way or what the deal was, but he said everything that came in was unacceptable and that he was going to, he's asked our permission if he could use this coming semester for the platform for what we're looking for. And obviously, we sent him back after the first one saying that it wasn't acceptable. So if he didn't think that this was any better, why even look at him? So we followed his lead, and the board had all agreed that we would give him some additional time. So we really don't have a lot of choice, but
appreciate his
it would have been nice to have it now that we could review, but we might as well get it done right, and hopefully that can happen.
I think having a whole semester in front of him will be helpful.
Yeah.
Because by the time we had gotten back to him last time, it was really mid-semester. And
Yeah,
it was
true.
A quick slide to the end, so hopefully that works.
It is. All of a sudden, boom, it's graduation, and where the kids are...
Would it be helpful to have Professor Russo come in and meet with us?
Okay.
Yeah, what do you think?
We can do that.
We can do that. Meet him just so we can get I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. You want me to reach out to him?
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. Awesome. Anything else on that? Anybody have any questions regarding it? No? Okay. Next item, we get the continued discussion of implementing the LRRP plan recommendations. Dealing with the Gateway Plan and the Massachusetts Downtown Initiative. Bill was very kind enough to email out along with the agenda, the application. If you actually have some right here. This is dealing with the community one-stop growth application. Per Bill's email, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, you had reached out to Kerry Salwa at the CM, at the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission. We put in this application for it's a grant for $75,000. And what the plan, I believe, is that if we get, based on what I read, and it goes through in detail, and Bill, if you filled this out, thank you on behalf of the committee, because it seemed like there was a lot of information in here. A lot of it was just really letting them know what exactly we've done to date. Going back to in 2018, with the CMRPC doing the economic development plan. And then, kind of giving the whole background as to how we were going to focus on the West Main Street corridor, and all the things going on in Dudley at the moment, Stevens Mill and all these other things, and mentioning that we did receive some some funding to get a lot of to get where we are to date, and then the follow-up report, the funding assistance summary, they did recommend. In your application here, it did state that, it did recommend that Dudley pursue funding for the Gateway Plan via the MDI program, which is now this community one-stop, right?
Right.
So, here, we've got, it says that if we do get approved, and you had said that Kerry was kind enough to help us with this, but they would end up getting the contract for it. That if we do get approved, we wouldn't know until fall of this coming fall, and it wouldn't be starting until spring of 2023.
So hurry up and wait.
What's that? So hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any other comments or anything like that things? But again, first off, thank you for putting this together.
Sure, you're welcome. It's just a follow up to the LRRP plan. It was one of our key recommendations was to do something with this gateway. And we decided to apply for this Mass Downtown Initiative Program. So this came up, so I put the application together, and we'll see what happens.
Cross our fingers.
You know, and I wanted to highlight all the work that the committee's done in the past, which has been quite extensive. So I hope that impresses people at the state level, that they say, okay, this group of people really wants to work on this area.
It's not until you actually read everything in here
Right.
that you're just, okay, well, there was a lot of stuff that actually did go on,
Yes.
even during COVID, so, yeah. And it did mention in there, just correct me if I'm wrong, the funds can be used for, like we had mentioned in regards to the gateway, the beautification of the gateway,
Mhm.
you know, things of that nature and stuff
Right.
like that, so.
Yes.
But that's awesome.
So, you know, the intent is really to look at that corridor from a design perspective and see what can be done to enhance that area. You know, it's old and tired, and I think it needs some revitalization, and so point of the study is to have somebody show us how that can be done
Right.
in this particular area. So it's one thing to rely on, you know, looking at examples from other areas, but I thought it'd be helpful to have somebody actually do some design work here and show, if you took a piece of property, what could you do to transform it into something that would really, you know, invite people to come to the corridor and,
Right.
and walk around and shop and participate in local business activity.
Yeah. Great.
So that's the intent anyway.
Yeah, especially with everything going on with, you know, Stevens Mill project,
Exactly.
you know, the 159, I think that's the number.
It is the number,
apartments,
right.
And things of that nature. It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens there, but just to kind of get in front of it, which I think we kind of already are,
Yeah.
you know.
So this plan, I think, would tie into that. It would show how we can connect sidewalks to the Riverwalk, and how you can extend the Riverwalk to different parts of the river, and, you know, maybe go down to the Chase Mill. Maybe there could be a canoe launch put in down that way. You know, so there's a bunch of different things I think we could look at to make this area more pedestrian oriented and get more people to come there.
Right. So once, so next steps right now, so it has been submitted.
Mm-hmm.
So now we'd wait to hear back, and then providing we then get the funding,
Mm-hmm.
how does it look from there?
So we would hear probably in October, at least that's the way it worked last year, and then they take a couple of months to get us a contract. I think we got the last one in like January or February, something like that, and then we would contract with the consultant. We could use CMRPC again, or, you know, if you want to go out and get somebody else in, we could do that too. I don't think we're committed to them, but they've really helped us out in the past, so I went to them, and, you know, they've been very cooperative with us and very helpful, so.
Well, they're starting to get to know who we are. I mean, they've been with us for so long now. I mean, it's
I
helpful to
know.
stay with them.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
So they would help us design it?
Yes.
This is like to get the funding to design it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great.
Correct.
Yeah, awesome.
I love the tie-in to the French rivers. I thought that was really,
Yeah,
kind of got me excited when I was reading it. I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. I'll do that.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice, you know?
Oh, really nice.
I know the mill developer's been working with National Grid, who owns that little piece right on Main Street with that plaza and the stone wall, to make that a point of entry for the Riverwalk itself.
Yeah, that's great.
So either that would be some kind of an easement to allow the public to, you know, to go down through the National Grid property, or an actual,
right.
you know, transfer of ownership to the mill developer. So I don't know how that's gonna work out yet, but
Right.
it'd be nice to be able to do that, rather than having to come in directly from the mill, which I think would discourage the public from using it,
Yeah.
because they'd have to pull into the mill parking lot, look around
Right.
for a place to park, and,
Sure,
so we'll see if that can happen.
that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Wow. Anybody have any thoughts or questions regarding that? No?
So there's another application for that area. The owner of the mill applied for $1 million, I believe, for something called an underutilized properties grant, so that can contribute to the renovation of the mill. Because, as you know, it's a very expensive undertaking.
Oh, yeah.
He applied last year and wasn't funded because it wasn't far enough along. This year, you know, I think everything has been much better fleshed out in terms of how that's gonna work. They have their special permit from the planning board. So we have the firm detailed site plan. So I think last year wasn't nearly as far along as it was. You know, the town has granted the UCH TIF for that property. They're applying for PACE financing, for mass development. So hopefully we can prove that that project is also worthy of funding. It'd be nice to get both of them.
Right.
As part of that project, they're going to be improving Ardlock, the entire street, putting in a sidewalk down there, which would tie into West Main Street.
Wow.
So that would help pedestrian access
Yeah.
to get to the mill, for the mill residents to come down to West Main Street. So it's kind of a win for everybody.
Right. And in regards to, I mean, they've already started work. Is that correct?
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much activity,
Right. I have a couple of customers of mine at the bank that
Okay.
own some properties around there,
Oh,
and
good.
they said, "Oh, I see that there's already activity."
but good.
And I said, "Oh, wow, that's great." you
It's
know?
probably due diligence kind of
Due
thing. Maybe
diligence
they're
kinda.
in, you know, assessing building conditions or something like that.
Sure.
They also, their next step is to apply to the Historical Commission for a waiver of the demolition delay bylaw, so that they can get started right away.
Wow.
So,
So that property has not transferred yet, right? So the old owner is still?
no, it has.
Oh, it has?
Yes,
To the new developer?
yes,
Oh, and that developer is the one who applied for $1 million grant?
yes.
Okay.
I think he got it about a year ago. I
Okay.
forget the exact.
Before he knew that he could do what he wanted to do?
Yeah,
Well, I didn't realize that.
yeah.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of work to do. It's gonna take a couple of years, I imagine,
Right.
to do that project, but, you know, the end result should be really significant.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, I think it might have been at the town hall meeting when people were talking about it, and it seemed that like once they really get going, it seemed to be like a 16 or 18-month project or something
Mhm.
like that, if that's
Right.
in the ballpark. So
Mhm.
I think, I know for myself, I think I'm just very eager to see,
Mhm.
you know, the end result, and then
Mhm.
also to see, especially with everything going on, if we can
Mhm.
start really working on the West Main Street Gateway Corridor
Mhm.
area, just what it's gonna happen, like,
Mm.
it's not gonna be that long before we start to see
Mhm.
some real change,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
so.
The other piece I would mention is that I also wrote an application for an industrial park feasibility study for area that the town owns on West Main Street, past the courthouse.
Mhm.
So we applied for money to do a feasibility study for an industrial park there. You haven't really been focusing in on that part of Main Street at all, but the town has a 58-acre parcel acquired through tax title back in 2008 or 2010. So the point of the study is to look at, you know, existing conditions, topography, wetlands, see if it's feasible to put in an industrial park. How would you connect water and sewer lines? Where would the access be for, you know, traffic? Maybe some lot layout, so we get a sense of, you know, how significant a development could happen there. So that's also part of this one-stop application, so we'll know around the same time.
Oh, that's great. In that area, Bill, that you're referring to, the 58 acres, just trying to get my head around exactly where it is.
Do you know, if you go down Lyons, there's a residential development,
Yep,
Norwood,
okay,
into Woodmere,
right, okay.
in that area, and so bordering that area is this town-owned piece.
Awesome.
Is that right on the highway, Route 12?
It does have frontage on Route 12,
Yeah, wow,
a significant, you know, a large amount of frontage on Route 12.
Wow.
yeah. Good.
Oh, excuse me, it's 197.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
it's 197, West Main Street.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not great access because it's kind of steep and, you know,
Sure.
cars speed through there.
Side access from Lion Street?
So that would be one option,
Yeah.
yeah. But, you know, that might affect the residents of that
Access.
neighborhood depending on how many employees and the
Right.
type of park you put in.
Yeah,
So that's a big question. That's part of the
Interesting.
feasibility study, is to look at how could you do that without, you know, compromising safety and affecting the neighborhood, so.
right,
Across the street, the Dudley Conservation Land Trust owns a lot of open space. So there aren't many abutters who would be adversely affected by this, so it seems like a pretty good opportunity to do something there.
right. That's very interesting. Anybody have any questions, comments? No? I know it's kind of, is that part of the the next item, the
Yeah,
town planner
I guess,
update? I know
I
you've
kinda
kind of already
did.
updated us quite a bit, Bill.
But what I'd like to get back to, what do we do next
Right.
as a committee?
Mhm.
Because we're waiting now for this gateway thing, gives
Right.
us 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
So might as well take advantage of that time, and so don't know what your thoughts would be, kind of things as a committee you'd like to tackle next.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, I think that's, open discussion for the committee. I mean, I know we, if the focus that we have been doing, that we've been doing has to do with the West Main Street corridor. What other things that we, does anybody here on the committee have any, suggestions as to other things that we should, maybe in the interim focus on?
I wonder if, the Ag Council needs any, what's step 2 of, what we provided for them, so we created a committee. I've asked a couple times, during the last few meetings, how they're doing. I don't know if they still have meetings, if there are any minutes that we can review, or if they need any support from us. I mean, a big part of Dudley is
Right.
farmland, right? So,
Yeah,
I don't know, there was a lot of discussion about, hemp growing and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure exactly how much of that has been done, or, there's a lot of people focused on shopping local, and there's some, local beef farms and vegetable farms and things like that. Is there any way we can assist, with that? I mean, that's smaller projects, but
I think it's a great idea. I mean,
Do you want to
especially,
try to do a joint meeting with that?
I think, that would be just to kind of see if we can get on the same page, and like Mark had said, the thing that I'm hearing is just, that the council was set up, as far as I know, if I remember, in one of our meetings, they had a very big turnout, and just haven't heard much as to, what they're up to and what are the things that they're seeing in regards to, their needs. I mean, you had mentioned like hemp growing and things of that nature. I mean, is there, especially with, I don't know if they have any kind of tie-ins with, the local grow facility, retail marijuana facilities in towns and things of that nature, but just to kind of, let them know that we're not forgetting about the town's roots in the farming and agriculture, and see if there's a way that we can help them in the interim as we start to get ready on the West Main Street thing.
So if I get you the contact information, would you reach out to the chair?
Yeah,
and, see
absolutely.
if we can
I'd
set
be more than
something up?
happy to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just saying, I'll reach out to them and see. I had gone to their meeting, and they had issues, different growers, they tried growing the hemp, and to keep it under 3% was difficult. A lot of crops got burned.
Yeah.
But on the bright side, it improves the soil when you do that. That's a big improvement to the soil, because the hemp, it's deep-rooted, pulls all the nutrients out of the soil, and then when you burn it, it's like, they call that like biochar, and it adds phosphorus to the soil. Anyways, that's a good thing. But it wasn't, I don't think it turned out to be too profitable, but I'll get more information on it.
Yeah, if I remember, we did have somebody within the last year or so,
Yes.
could be 2 years, I forget.
Robert and Linda already came.
Yep, they spoke and they mentioned exactly that, Ellen, about I think they were newer to farming, but they were just trying to figure it out, but had a lot, they had these folks that showed up from the state and they tested things, and they ended up burning a lot, so it was
Right.
like, it was, that's their livelihood, so, what are they gonna be,
I know.
just really tough, so,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great point.
Yeah, the only bonus is the improvement to the soil, and the experience.
yeah. At a big cost though, I think, and these farmers, they don't have money,
Yeah.
so.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so, I
I
mean,
wonder if there's any grants, for, getting seed or anything for that.
it's a great
I
question.
wonder, I mean, hemp is a great product. It's very strong fiber, for making rope and material out of.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what they used to use.
Really?
Yeah, and that's local. We can grow that locally, so.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think they said a 1 acre farm of hemp could yield $100,000.
1 acre.
Wow.
Wow.
So you just
Yeah.
have to get it under that 3%.
Yeah.
Need
And
good
that's
seed.
just an outdoor crop, a one-year, one-season crop?
Yeah.
Yep, wow.
Very interesting.
How much was that?
That was 100,000, that's what
100,000.
I remember when we were talking about this.
Yeah.
That's why I thought there was a lot of interest in it, but, yeah, it sounds like there needs to be, there are some requirements, so.
You need to get a license from DAR, Department of Agriculture.
All that
to
too,
grow hemp,
yeah.
But there's no local approval required.
Yeah,
Is it difficult? Do you have any idea to get
I
that
don't
kind of
think it's
license?
that difficult,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the
inter-
difficulty is just keeping it under the,
Right.
3%. You need good,
from hemp, you know.
Yeah.
need good, a good source of seed.
Mhm.
That's where
Interesting.
your investment,
Wow,
a lot of your investment is.
okay.
But
But yeah, I'd be more than happy if you have the contact information, if you could
Okay.
forward it over.
Or
to me.
Ellen, do you-
Oh,
I can do it, I can do it. I
Oh,
see,
you wanna-
yeah, I
oh,
see,
you do?
Okay.
I go to the Walnut Lane Farm regularly, so.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so
Just if, yeah, if
I
you'd be
talked
so
to them.
kind as to just let them know that we would really like to,
we'll go to their meeting?
well, yeah, we could set up a
Yeah.
joint meeting, whatever,
That would
like
be
the
good.
committee feels, and I know it's summertime, and maybe that's another, thing we could have open discussion next in regards to our, for the remainder of the summer. I know a lot of people have vacations and things of that nature in regards to when we wanna meet again.
Mhm.
But maybe we could, if you could reach out to them, let them know that we really wanna make sure that, meeting with them is a priority, because we want, the economic development isn't just, bringing in the industrial parks and all these other things. It's part of it, but we still wanna make sure that we remain loyal, to our roots, so to speak,
Right, right.
but.
I think it'd be better if they came here, if they, if we're gonna try to help them, I think it'd be good for them to come to us with some things that they might need, some help, some support. If they have any meetings, if they've had any meetings, maybe we can at least get the minutes and, see what they're talking about.
Okay.
I mean, it's been a long time since we've been involved with them, so I think it'd be good to first understand, are they still even meeting? Maybe they're not
Yeah.
even meeting,
Right, true.
so
They
we
are.
just go there, I don't,
They
in
are
respect
meeting.
of everyone's time, I just prefer to understand where are they at, are they meeting regularly, and, is there anything that we can do to support them?
That's a good point, Mark, and also, and I don't know if their meetings are recorded.
They are.
Oh, they are?
Yeah,
Oh,
every
so-
month.
Oh, every month, so
Yep, if
so
you
the
go
public.
look on YouTube, you'll find their meetings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just so the, the town and, if whoever's watching is able to, hear what they have to say as well, so.
Right, yep, if you go to YouTube,
Okay.
look up, Town of Dudley Agricultural Commission,
Okay.
you'll
Okay.
find them.
All right.
Yep.
So, no, I think that would be a good idea
They had a
if
sale, I think it was in May, where they got a lot of different people that grew plants and flowers and whatever, and so they publicized it.
Okay,
Yep,
awesome.
I don't know
Yeah, so
what else
just
they're up to.
See if they'd be willing to come to a meeting, and then, once we, if we can
Okay.
get their feedback, and then we can, plan something.
The only thing, the only reason I said we would go to theirs is because they're farming, and
Oh,
daytime is really busy.
oh, I
They
see.
meet, I think they meet at 7, could even be 8,
At night, yeah.
because that's when their day is done.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, let me talk to her and see.
Yeah, and you know what, I mean, if in respect to everybody's time here as well, but
Yeah.
just to know that, hey, if that's the time, then we would, even if we had some
Few of us.
representation from our committee
Right.
there,
Okay,
awesome, just let us know, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
you're welcome.
Next item is just any new business or open for discussion, is there anybody have anything for the committee?
I heard the Strawberry Festival was a huge hit. Major people lined up down the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's good.
now, were they able to have it the last couple of years? or was-
I don't think last year, right? No,
No,
the year
last 2
before
years
that
they haven't
maybe.
had
They
Yeah.
haven't had it,
It was
wow.
just crazy. Yeah, my wife was there with the women's club, and she was like, she couldn't even get out of the parking lot. It was just, they were lined up down the road.
Wow, that's great.
Yep.
And hopefully they still had the frog jumping contest. I remember
Yeah.
when I moved to this area, coming from Lowell, I was just like, oh, what? Frog?
It's a frog.
And it was, and I'll never forget, there was somebody standing next to me in all of his pride saying that he won it. He was the winner like 10 years prior, and it was like a badge of honor. So I
Oh,
thought,
wow.
wow, this is a great community. This is awesome,
Did you meet his frog?
I did, and I just had to, like, I didn't have any hand sanitizer afterwards, but what are you gonna do? That was pre-COVID. But no, that's great news. Anybody else?
Does Dudley still do a farmer's market? I don't even know.
No, they
No,
don't.
huh? That's
It'll
too
be
bad.
nice. I think eventually they're going to be doing it.
See, we've got a big parking lot up here in the back.
Yeah.
It's hard to do it.
Huh.
I mean,
They
it would
were
be
doing it
really
at
good, but-
Marty's lot there for a while, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, I remember
They
that.
did it in this parking lot for a while too,
Mm.
but they didn't get much of a turnout. But I think, with all the talk about food lately and
Mm.
shortages, I
Mm.
think that it'll become a thing.
It's a good topic for the joint meeting with the Ag
Oh, yeah.
Committee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I know I have some customers of the bank that, that's they religiously go, I have
Yeah.
customers of Baker, they always go. I mean, a lot of it I think is, I want to say it's a lot down at like the Sturbridge area and like other
Sturbridge is a
areas
big
down
one.
there. They are very, and it's a big source of their income too, so, but I think that's a great idea.
There's Big Bunny. That's where a lot of people go. Big
Mm.
Bunny.
Really, down in
Yeah.
Southbridge?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yep, and it's been there for a few years.
Huh.
It is. They make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yep, I've started selling daylilies from my house, because we're a business. But I talked to Randy Morse from Southbridge, and he grows all kinds of vegetables. So
Mm.
I said, if you want to bring some up,
Sure,
put it out and see.
yeah,
He said he'd pick them up after, whatever doesn't sell.
yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. I'm trying it out for the summer to see how it goes.
Yeah.
So far, good.
And also, not just for the local like farmers but it's just a great community event too, I think, to get people engaged
Yeah.
and to have activities and things of that nature, so,
Mhm.
yeah, no, great idea,
Yeah.
or a great question too.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Anybody have anything that they've,
Anything going on with the chambers?
the chambers?
Anything happening that we should know about, or
I don't
should we
know.
assist?
You
or-
still involved in the chamber?
Yeah, not as much with the chamber. The Webster Dudley Business Alliance has had a couple different events. One was at Monty's, one was at Mike's
I saw that.
Crunchies. And I know they're talking about doing like a food truck event. I think Webster had a pretty successful one at the beach. Maybe it was in May.
Mhm.
But yeah, people are looking for, things to go to and, get out of the house. So
The mayor calling.
for you, Ted.
Yeah.
Wrong number.
Yeah, wrong. number.
Yeah.
It's the country club calling for your next.
Calling me, I already played.
Yeah.
Did the building department ever put together anything that defines what people actually need a permit for? The biggest
Good question.
gap we have we see even in real estate, because we deal with housing, is people never know what they need to have a permit for. And I'm wondering, is there anything that could streamline that for the public? I know some towns have a disc where they actually tell you what departments you can go to and get different applications. I know we put a lot of stuff
Well,
online.
we do have a permit guide. Do you recall seeing that?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
So
Is that on the website? I think that's on the website, right?
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah.
And
You
I-
need a permit for everything.
well, it's all about money, but we find that in real estate, the paper trail is the big deal now. People, you go to sell a house and you find out they never got a permit, and they don't realize, or they had a permit and they never got it signed off, so they got an open permit. So if there were anything, I think it would be good if the building inspector would ever come in and talk with us a little bit, where we're looking to try and encourage development. I mean, he's great in the scale of inspectors out there, I'm gonna give them a 9.9 rating for
Wow.
being able to be accessible, get you answers, talk with you and work with you. Cause I've had some bigger parcels of land where I'm getting a lot of activity of people coming from outside the area and trying to get answers for them to see if there's anything systematic on what they could do. I would love to see if we could get him in and see if there's something we could be doing to help back it up for him, where we're trying to encourage businesses to come in, if there's a link that we could put together that would help both of us on doing that.
Yeah, I think
Good idea.
that is a great idea.
Yeah.
Especially because, I've heard stories from, customers that I've been in touch with, my time at the bank, that, they go to, let's say they're going into a certain town, they may even sign a lease, or they might do this, that, and the other thing, and they find out that, in order to do what they were gonna be doing in this spot, they needed certain types of permits, maybe it wasn't accessible, whatever it could be. So it's just to have that kind of knowledge, to not just help, your folks looking to come in on, small, medium, large businesses, but also, like you were saying, I think you were talking more so like developers as well.
Yeah, or the public in general. Interesting scenario is like even things like these private roads abandoned roads or paper roads. People don't understand what they can do on those and not do. How do they get that kind of information? What's the chain of command you go through to find out those kind of things? I think if we could get him in, and if he sees something, we can assist him with putting together something to assimilate some information to put
Yeah.
out there, make his job easier, and make it easier for people to do what they want to do, to understand it. Because people are very naive on, they think if it's okay to do whatever you want to do, and the further out in Dudley you live, the more likely you are to do whatever you want to do, because nobody catches you doing anything. So I
Right.
think if we could be a support for him to link it in with economic development, might be a good thing.
I think that's a great idea,
Yeah,
Yeah, because then they usually find out when the assessor comes out for the smoke, that you didn't pull a permit for this bathroom, and it could kill the whole thing.
But unfortunately, the assessors are not the enforcers. So an assessor will not turn you in for lack of a permit. You're gonna get caught by the real estate people, and when you go to sell. That's how it's gonna get, because we back you up to do everything.
sure, like an
And what-
accessory apartment, for example, you just can't put one in. You need a, special permit from the planning board.
Yeah. Well, I talked to somebody the other day. The house is an old house and it's got a foundation. He said, I'm looking at maybe putting a new foundation. Do I need a permit? I went, I don't know. I'll talk to the building inspector.
right.
But I think it's good to give him a little bit of positive situation with the public, to let him know he's not a negative in a community, because
Right.
people don't go and get a permit because they think it's the end of the world for them. Whereas if you are upfront on what you want to do, he will work with you potentially, maybe to do what you need to do. But not addressing it is a big problem in real estate.
So, like in your line of work, do you find if you have, let's say, a client who, they put the bathroom in, or they redid or remodeled the basement, and there was some electrical or whatever, and that might have been 5 years ago, or whatever time frame it was, and now they're going to sell it, and of course they didn't pull any permits or anything like that. What happens then? It just needs to be re-inspected, and if it's not up to code, then it has to be done properly. Obviously, that could add some more expense,
Correct.
to it, but
Well, you
it's,
could be made to pull things apart. Suppose you finished a room, you never got a permit for it, and it required that.
Yeah.
Then the building inspector could say, rip out the walls, I don't see what went in there.
all right.
Taking drywall off walls so they can see the wiring.
Yeah. I think we've got to be smarter, because the real estate market has been such a strong factor the last couple of years, and it's really not going to tank in a matter of months here, that people need to be paranoid. They need to get into the scenario that you need to do things the right way, and how do you manage to do that? And a lot of people will say, well, what do I need a permit for? And I have to say, well, I can't tell you off the top of my head.
And
We had a
that's,
situation recently where a woman came in and wanted to do something with the property. The assessors had it coded as a two-family, but she has 4 units on the property. And she wanted to, tear the buildings down and put up something, something new. But the question is, is she entitled to 4 units there? Because it was grandfathered, although zoning only allows 2. So it's a problem if somebody's never pulled the proper permits for something like that.
Yeah.
You don't really know, is it illegal and needs to be removed? So those are the very, knotty issues the building inspector has to deal with when something like that comes up.
He deals with a lot of angry people. I've had it even with solar. People put solar panels on, the guy pulls a permit for the solar panel, never gets it signed off when he put them on.
Interesting.
That is a problem. Sign-offs are an issue, and the public thinks it's the building inspector who's supposed to chase them for sign-off. They can't seem to get it through their head. It's up to them to contact the building department to arrange to have them come out to do a sign-off.
And my guess is it's gotta be the same for like business owners as well, if they're doing anything with their
Oh,
whether,
yeah.
whether they own their property or they lease it, if they're doing leasehold improvements or whatever. But I think you bring up a great point. I think that it just, with the little bit of discussion that we've had this morning, it sounds like it'd be a big benefit. And I'm sure people, and I'm not sure the viewership on the local access, but it's just, I think that would be, even just to have it after the meeting, to have it, the link put up there, and to have something that, people would, take, they some invaluable information. So I think that's great. We got two potentials for upcoming meetings, the building inspector and the agricultural council. So, yeah. Anybody else? All right. Well, I know it's kind of a short meeting, but if anybody that doesn't have anything else to bring up to the committee, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All righty.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All righty. Meeting's over, 11:08.
Do you all want